16% of our graduates work in the high-tech industry, and our goal is in the next 3 years to bring it to 30%. So it doesn't mean that those who will not go will not be a success story, as long as we help them maximize their dreams and work in whatever they want. We still have the responsibility and the ability to bring more teenagers into the high-tech industry.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. This episode is powered by J Ventures, a community-driven VC fund in Silicon Valley in partnership with Loews, sponsored by Homeward Ventures, Hippo Insurance, Upwest Labs, Synergy Global, Hillel at Stanford, Leap, Birthright Excel, Serona Partners, and in media partnership with CTech. Welcome to another episode of 20-Minute Leaders. This episode is with a very, very special woman, Ifat Bechor, the CEO of Unistream, an organization that provides entrepreneurship, education, and innovating thinking for youth in Israel's geographic and social periphery in order to reduce socioeconomic disparity and ensure equal opportunity for all. Ifat joined Unistream after serving as the head of business development and innovation for Birthright Israel. Her career started at Publicis Worldwide, then moving to the marketing team at Loews Cineplex. She discovered the world of philanthropy through Friends of the IDF, where she served as VP Marketing. Ifat joined Birthright as the executive director of Birthright Excel, the lifelong leadership and business fellowship. She is a member of the Maoz Leadership Fellowship and the Schusterman Fellowship. She lives in Israel with her husband and 3 children. I want to start with a big thank you because a lot of people, not too many people are in tech in the world, right? And it's a real privilege to be in the industry, in the ecosystem we are in. You are using your ability, time, and expertise to help others get into the field and to open opportunities, break barriers, break circles. And it's really, really amazing because really you can be working at any company, at any executive role, and you choose to run the amazing Unistream organization, which really is making a tremendous impact on the Israeli ecosystem and is a model that I think many other countries should proceed with. So, Ifat, thank you very much for being here, and tell me just a little bit about yourself as a person.
Absolutely. So, as a person, we just moved back a few months ago. We were living in New York for many years, and now we're in Tel Aviv. I have amazing 3 kids and my husband. I would say that Unistream is an amazing and unique experience to be, to lead such an organization. When I started my career, I really thought that I'll be working in marketing. That's what I did. I worked in Publicis for many years, and then I moved to New York thinking that I'm going to work in entertainment marketing, working for Loews Cineplex, and HBO was the dream. And somehow, when they merged with another company, with AMC, someone offered me to replace her in front of the IDF, and I was like, sure, 3 months, I will replace her, apply for HBO, and suddenly I was there. I stayed there for 9 years. And I learned throughout the years through FIDF, and then moving to Birthright, leading Birthright Excel, which you know very well, the leadership and business fellowship of Birthright, that my passion and my unique value proposition, I would say, is this, thin line or this triangle between the business world, social impact, and entrepreneurship / innovation. That's what I did in the last few years, with this maybe leadership and education line that connects these 3 elements. So absolutely, I think that Unistream is a great place for that, and really to work and support the younger generation of Israel when they move up their careers.
Fantastic. So we're going to unravel this triangle and understand a little bit, the economic system of this triangle, right? It all comes down to economics at the end. And while this organization, is a nonprofit and it's an amazing organization with high impact, it's a scalable model, and it's built as a company that works very similarly to a tech company. And so Share with me a little bit about Unistream as an organization, a little bit about the story of Unistream. And then I'd love to dive deeper into the strategy of what it's like running this organization and how you're thinking through maximizing and optimizing on the impact.
So I'll start with, what you know better than me, Startup Nation. Israel, it's an amazing startup nation, but it's not yet an inclusive startup nation. There are still 30% of Israel's children live under the poverty line. About 20% do not have computers at home. 27% do not have internet. We work with teenagers from Israel's geographic and social periphery, and we teach them and we work with them on building startups with the idea that entrepreneurship is a model that can be a life-changing experience by the skills that it gives you, the methodologies. But more than that, it's really the basic, the idea that there are no glass ceilings, that even the greatest entrepreneur in the world got a few rejections before someone believed in him. It doesn't matter where he was born. And it's really about believing in yourself, feeling comfortable within the non-comfortable zone, and giving an equal opportunity for success for every teenager that lives in the country.
Right. And so with this huge and grand vision, Unistream is born. Yes. And what does the actual program consist of, this Unistream?
So we work with about 3,500 teenagers from everywhere in Israel, from Kiryat Shmona.
No big deal, 3,500.
Yeah, Kiryat Shmona to Eilat. We work with all sectors, which is really a privilege, especially in crazy weeks like this week. We have 22 entrepreneurship centers where we work with teenagers, mostly 9th grade to 11th grade, really on the startup creation, everything from team formation, ideation, validation. They get to work very closely to the business sector, and I would say that that's one of the greatest values. The linear line between every child, every teenager, and a business mentor and companies is amazing. It's a great aspiration. It's a great network, and it also gives them, the confidence and methodologies for life. So we have 22 centers, and we also have an amazing collaboration for a one-year program with Israel's Innovation Authority and Education Office, the Minister of Education, which allows us to give this amazing program to over 90 municipalities in Israel, working with younger audience, usually 7th and 8th grade. We have they have competitions during the year. They work on business models. They learn how to fundraise, and then every year we have an annual event with about 2,500 people. All people from tri-sector, from the government, from the business sector coming to see them. It's the most exciting expo of ideas that you can imagine.
It's incredible and it's inspiring. If we're looking at this experience from the lens of a participant, when we build products, we create the persona and we try to envision their consumer journey. What is it like for them? Walk me through sort of the personal experience that an average participant may experience throughout a year at Unistream.
I love this question, Michael, also because we talk a lot about the quantitative and how many, but when you come to the qualitative and you listen to the individual stories, that's when you really cry and you understand what an amazing privilege you have to work with these brilliant teenagers. So we accept every teenager that has the motivation to come and work with a team. They will come and they will start by thinking locally about the community and like the national and the global challenges that are around them. So it's a lot about problem solving. Mm-hmm. How do you define a problem and how can you find a solution for that? They will think about some ideas. Then they will meet with some business people, with go-no-go competition committees, They will think about the feasibility of the venture, and they will continue from there. The second year, they will already decide if they want to take the place of the finance person, the CEO, the product person, and then we will help them understand more about the niche that they decided to dedicate their time for, and that's what they will do. They will then build business models and continue the committees meetings that will give them more insights of what direction to take. The third year is already about marketing and fundraising, and they meet together. I mean, some of them know each other, some of them don't. We have three centers of what you call shared society. It's Arab and Jewish teenagers working together, and when you speak to them, you understand that, first of all, the center is much more than just a center. It's a second home for them. They come, they have food there, they come to do their homework sometimes, and even those who graduated continue to come. We work, and this is an amazing thing that we can do. We continue working with our graduates during their academic, like some go to the IDF. We work with them during their college, universities, and we also help them when they want to integrate into professional life.
Incredible. And so you're mentioning a few things here that I want to make sure that I really understand. First, it's this notion of a second home. And the fact that this is not just it's not just an extracurricular activity that you do, a course that you're in, because, on the paper, it may seem that, great, you're doing an entrepreneurship course. There are a lot of them around the world, and you're teaching them the skills to become entrepreneurs. But there is a community aspect here. And the second thing that I think is important here is this multi-year process, right? This is not a 5-week accelerator to jumpstart your startup. This is a life-changing experience that they commit to. And you mentioned the word motivation. So let's talk about that. Why is motivation and commitment an important part of the Unistream experience and the part of to help them really get to where they need to be?
It's a journey, and we want first of all, you want to make sure that you are accepting every person, even if he's more on the quiet side, or even if he's a person that has a hard time, it's cool. And you want him to thrive during, this amazing place that allows him to think and bring him his own value, right? So the only thing that is related is the fact that he's willing to dedicate the time, work with a team, and stay there for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years. I think that more and more they see also the potential. I'm proud to say that Ron Itzau, who is the founder, who started Unistream 20 years ago, he made his first investment in a startup of one of the Unistream graduates. Yes.
Really?
So I think that they understand that they're also going to join an amazing community that will support them and give them many tools, even when they finish our program and finish school. So, yeah.
So the KPI, from your perspective, you're running this organization. What's the goal here? Is the goal here to create a variety of amazing startups that will make Israel, a better startup nation? Is that the end goal, or is it something more about the participants?
It's a great question.
Where are you situated?
I would say that we're working now on even better defining the evaluation and the research that we do. Like, how do you check mobility? What is real mobility when it comes to economic mobility, social mobility, and what is our place in the place of the high tech? Right? We encourage a symbiotic relationship between the business sector, the public sector, and us. But we also have an amazing group of, let's say, captivated audience of amazing teenagers that can be the next entrepreneurs and employees of the high-tech industry. So right now, 16% of our graduates work in the high-tech industry, and our goal is in the next 3 years to bring it to 30%. So it doesn't mean that those who will not go will not be a success story, as long as we help them maximize their dreams and work in whatever they want, we still have the responsibility and the ability to bring more teenagers into the high-tech industry.
Right. Okay. So now
Yes.
talking about the triangle, right? The triangle that Unistream is trying to piece together. Who are the different counterparts in this triangle? What do they care about? And then how are you balancing, making sure
Yeah.
that everybody's,
So it's
creating a
first
win-win-win
and foremost, it's
situation?
about the participants, right? The teenagers and really everywhere. Um,
Yep.
I think that if I'll try to make it very briefly, if 20 years ago only understood the place of entrepreneurship as an enabler, I think that in the last few years it became an element that the government sees the importance of it, right? The education minister of education wants to bring coding and entrepreneurship into formal education. The business industry, the high-tech industry, understand that they have to support and plant the seed for their next employees. And we see it as a way to look at the periphery and understand that there is a huge untapped market that can actually, get the support and get the tools to become part of this, high-tech nation that we are. So the triangle is basically a win-win that will allow all sectors to enjoy the fruits of seeing the teenagers, supporting them, giving them the tools, and helping them get to this inclusive startup nation that I'm talking about.
And
Yes.
as you're thinking about scale and quality at scale, and part of the struggle here, and I'm sure not a struggle, but a challenge for an organization like this, is we're talking about, numbers are great, but at the end, if we're
Right.
looking at the individual stories, that's where the crying happens, right? And that's where the emotions come in, and you understand the impact. There's not many products that people build where you can really say this is a life-changing product for people. And Unistream is a product because if you think about it that way, that's when you can
Yeah.
really scale it and make it a successful opportunity. That said, how are you thinking through scaling while maintaining quality? What are sort of the big
Absolutely.
pillars that
So
go through your
two
mind?
things. First is to look at a few elements that are very important. English is one of them. English is a huge barrier in Israel. Okay, so even if you do like amazingly well in your matriculation exams, not enough spoken English. So we take English to the next level, not only by presentations, but really bringing them to speak with teenagers from all over the world just to practice English and to work on hackathons together. So the global expansion is one that
Right.
is very important. In terms of the scale, we are right now doing an amazing process of kind of rethinking the product. Are we still relevant to our teenagers? The young Gen Z. If having Arduino or a 3D printer in our centers a few years ago was something exciting, right now they're always like two steps ahead of us. So how do we make sure that we are, with the technology that we bring, with the extra curriculum that we bring, like English, like a little bit of coding, how do we make sure that we are still two steps ahead so they have enough value to say, we want to be there? I will say that once they are there, they become a family. They become like they have their, they're like a unit. They're so proud. But to make them come, it's really about always
Yes.
being agile and keep thinking, are we still two steps ahead of this crazy fast forward generation that is learning technologies much faster than it was before? And it's also about finding the right partners that will see the potential and will invest with us as real, in real collaborations, like running, like long ways and not just like thinking about it today.
Right. Is this model something that could work in other situations in other countries? For example, I'm in Israel. Obviously we have the peripheries, and from Kiryat Shmona to Eilat,
Right.
and we have the startup nation that can bring together these 2,500 amazing people for these final for the big showcasing. But if we're looking at other places around the world, is
Yeah.
this a model that could work around different countries that may not have
Yeah, so
even a startup
absolutely.
nation
I
mentality
had a
yet?
few discussions with Argentina and Costa Rica and a few places where, like
Wow.
Costa Rica, actually a hedge fund there that said that Costa Rica is not producing enough entrepreneurs, and they're trying to find a way to do that. So they brought entrepreneurship into the formal education, but it's too formal. So they're trying now to understand how the informal system can actually leverage and bring methodology like Unistream's methodology into their agenda and work. Argentina is the same. South Africa. So absolutely, I would say that the United States is a great place for collaboration, but they have enough entrepreneurs. There are other countries that can leverage on this combination of supporting periphery while also investing in the next generation of entrepreneurs at the same time. So the United States has it in some places, obviously, but it's more countries that are smaller or different, like the ones that I mentioned. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Ifat, I want to thank you both for the episode, but for the amazing work. This was
Thank
so
you.
fascinating and inspiring and enjoyable. Best of luck with Unistream. Continue making a huge positive impact. It's really inspiring to see it from the side, and thank you also for the amazing work in the previous organizations you've been a part of, particularly Birthright Excel. That holds a special place in my heart, and we didn't get to talk about them because Unistream is so magnificent, but they are no less. And thank you for everything. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you, Michael. Bye bye.
Thank you.